Well, ladies, we're going to go ahead and get started today. So thanks for coming to this VIP clinic. How to create your business 60-second introduction. Actually, it should be create your 60-second business introduction, but we know that it all means the same thing. So I'm going to do my introduction, and the entire time that we're together, I want to make this a practical learning experience, because 60-second introductions, they're really critical to you connecting with people in business. So before I go into my introduction, which is the model that we're going to use tonight, I do want to hear from you all. What do you think is what you struggle with the most in your own introduction?
I know for me, it's talking too much.
Talking too much? Okay, yeah.
I think it's trying to say too much about what I do instead of just having it down to that direct center piece. I think I've cut it enough to where it is, but this is going to help me make sure I'm getting it right now.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so Melody, how about you?
I think my biggest problem is, how do I want to introduce myself? Am I there for my job, or am I there for my entrepreneur business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I want to give you a quick answer to that. It depends on who's in front of you. Because, we're very multifaceted in who we are as business women, and we have so many elements to us that, we want to talk to the person in front of us. We truly want to represent ourselves and be authentic, but whatever their interest is going to be, we want to bring that up first, and then everything else might be more of the secondary information that we provide them later on in our conversation with them. So that's just a very quick answer for you on that. Okay?
Thanks.
All right, so Jen, what about you?
I'm probably the same as Katrina. I like to talk, and sometimes I don't know when just to stop with my intro.
Okay.
My family is all in the other room laughing at me too.
Oh. Well, no worries. You're definitely in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and do my introduction. So welcome, everybody. I am Angie Nuttle, and here's what I do. I'm an executive business coach. I'm also an influence and presence strategist. I'm also a one-stop business shop for corporate and entrepreneurial women who want to build confidence in business. So what is it exactly that I do? I really do three things. First of all, I coach leaders to build executive leadership presence, and I do that through the School of Executive Presence, which is a part of my business. I also train others to creatively grow their businesses. So I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who really don't know what to do, or they want to take their business to the next level, and I really help them to get there in very creative ways. And then the third thing that I do is that I teach others to speak with a confident mindset and clear messaging. Well, you may be asking, what is the value that I really bring to my clients and to the people around me? And what I help people, the value that I bring to them is just this sense of calm confidence and balance in their lives. And when I'm working with people who they need to speak clearly and concisely and in a compelling way, I help them to do just that, to speak, think, and operate with compelling poise. And ultimately, this leads to people creating purposeful and profitable businesses. I mean, we're all in business, and we want it to be meaningful, we want it to be intentional, but we also want it to be profitable. So here's my question for you. What is important to you about tonight's session? Think about that for a moment. What is important to you about tonight's session? Melody?
I would really like to come up with, where I'm not speaking really fast, and to actually get those points that I'm going to hit, based on, and if it's really like, maybe I have two different types of intros, one for each scenario. So, and if we only get one done, that's great. But
Yeah, that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a template to follow, and it will help you to fit any introduction into that you can tailor to whoever your audience is. So Katrina, what's important to you about tonight's session?
I think I want to do exactly what you just said in your intro, and that is break down my value
Mm-hmm.
of what I do and how valuable it is, be able to express that
Yeah.
in an easy, concise manner.
Okay. Very good. Jen?
Mine is just to get the pitch down and just keep it.
Yeah. Get her down.
I feel like, so just amen.
Very good. All right, so the formula that I just used is exactly what I'm going to teach you. And we're going to do some creative exercises around it. But this is, and I use this is a very small piece of what I use in a division of my business, which is the School of Executive Presence. So I do work with a lot of corporate people to get this down, especially corporate people who are in front of clients. And this is extremely valuable, especially for small business owners who, you only have a limited amount of time to capture someone's attention. And you can also use this formula in your emails to people when you're introducing yourself to people through email, or if you're doing LinkedIn email, it's a great formula for that as well. Okay, so I want to share with you top 3 introduction mistakes. Here's where we struggle and we go off track. The first thing that we do is when you're leading with your job history and background. So how many times have you heard somebody say, well, I work for such and such company, and this is my job title, and these are the tasks that I do. And before that, I worked for, and you hear that bullet point resume. Well, it gives people a sense of what you're doing, but it really doesn't give them a sense of who you are as a person. And 80% of our decisions are emotionally based. That means that we've got to connect relationally with the person in front of us. And we're not going to do that by reading off our resume. If we want them to know our resume, we could just do what? Hand them the resume. So that's a mistake that we want to stay away from. Next, omitting your last name. Women in particular tend to just use their first name. But the most memorable thing to anyone is when you say your full name. So, hi, I'm Angie Nuttle. And then, just even saying it at the end of your introduction, or, hey, thanks again, I'm Angie Nuttle. I'm excited to see you and I want to connect with you again. So saying your full name is ultimately a confidence boost, and it makes you more memorable in that introduction. And then thirdly, minimizing who you are and leaving out key truths about yourself. I mentioned that our decisions are 80% emotionally based. People are looking to see how they feel around you. They're looking to see how much you are investing in the relationship and being present with them right in that moment. But they also want to know, they want to test out the know, like, and trust factor. And this is something that, I do a lot of marketing and am somewhat of a marketing guru. And I recognize that people, they want to connect with the real you. Yeah, they want something from you, but they want to know who you are first to see if they even want to get what they want from you. So those are 3 introductions. Can you think of any other mistakes that you've seen people make, or maybe you've made yourself that you recognized? Anyone have one to share?
Not looking them in the eyes.
Yep, good. Eye contact is critical. Looking them straight in the eye, smiling when you greet someone. Anything else that you can think of that might be a mistake when you're doing your introduction? Okay, that's 8 seconds. So that tells me that you have exhausted all thoughts and possibility. That is awesome. All right, so we're going to distill this down. Well, what what is it that you've got to do to cultivate interest in your audience? Well, people want to know 3 things about you. And these are the 3 things that people want to know. So you'll want to jot these down. Whoops. That's not what they want to know. Okay, hold on just a moment. Not sure why that popped up. I'm just going to tell you these. All right, so 3 things that people want to know about you. They want to know, number 1, who you are. The second thing that they want to know about you is what you do. The third thing that they want to know about you is what value you bring. And then they want you to do something really interesting. You know, after they find out those 3 things about you, what do you think that they want you to do next? Do you think that they want you to keep talking? No. They want you to ask them.
Stop talking.
You sort of cut out. You kind of cut out. But
Just the stop talking is what they really probably.
well, and that's a great point. They do want you to.
Sorry.
No worries. They want you to stop talking, but they want you to turn it over to them and ask a question. So we're going to go into that model, but I want to share something with you around an interesting introduction. The reason why we call this a 60-second introduction is because you literally have 60 seconds to capture their attention and say what you want to say, 60 seconds or less. And ideally, you're going to have a very clear and concise introduction. And even in the first 7 seconds, that is a critical time. If you're not capturing their attention in the first 7 seconds, then here's what's going to happen to you. I want you to look at this. Over here on the left side, this is basically your attention span. So when you first start off with your introduction, you're in that first 7 seconds and the attention is pretty high. And the person in their mind is, they're thinking, is this person saying something that's catching my interest or I can relate to it? And if the answer is no, that by the time you get to 30 seconds and 60 seconds, their attention span has dropped dramatically. So in 7 seconds, if they are not resonating with what you're saying, or they're not having an emotional connection, here are the thoughts that are going to pop into their mind. I wonder what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. Hey, I see George over there. I want to get out of this conversation and go over there and talk with that person. So these are the kinds of things that run through our mind. And have you ever experienced that yourself, where you were listening to someone and they did not capture your attention right away, and you started thinking about something else? Oh, I wonder what's next on my schedule. That's one that just keeps coming to me over and over. If I'm listening to someone who's just giving me their resume, I'm like, stop. So again, here are the 3 questions that it's basically a structure for us to create a 60-second introduction that is going to help people process from a brain wiring perspective more about you. It's going to make them be able to take in more information about you, but yet we still have to keep it concise and clear and compelling. So what do you do? What value do you bring? And then ask them a question. All right, so let's start with, who are you? I want to preface this work that we're about to do with, you are more than your job title. So let's say you're an executive secretary. Well, that is a job title that an employer created, and it has a number to it, and it's very impersonal. Well, that's not you. As a matter of fact, when you put out those job titles, people automatically categorize you. So if you're saying, I'm an IT worker, there's going to be a picture pop up in their head. I mean, even if you say, I'm the CEO of a company, that creates a different perception. Well, and that's all well and good, but we want people to know who you are as a person and what it is that you do and what value you bring. So we're going to do a quick exercise here. It's called the quick list. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, on your piece of paper, I'm going to ask you to write down some of these words. We're going to do 4 lists. Now, these are going to go very quickly. I'm going to give you about 15 to 20 seconds to capture as much as you can and as much as you know, according to the question that I ask you. So I'm going to get my timer going here. So here is your first list. I want you to list as many action words as you can think of that describe you. For example, driver, connector. Okay, stop. We're going to go on to the next list. Quick list number 2, write down things that you are very passionate about. Things that you are very passionate about. Okay, stop. Number 3, things that you are really good at and you may even be an expert at. Things that you're really good at and may even be an expert at. And stop. Let's move on to the 4th list, adjectives that describe you. And when I say adjectives, it could be funny, it could be quirky. Okay, let's stop. Here's what we're going to do with these words. I want you to take a few seconds here and string some of these words together and create a new title for yourself. And we can have fun with this. This is how it gets started. It's just thinking and being fun about it. So for example, let's say that let's just string some of your words together. So someone give me an action word that you wrote down for yourself.
I put driven.
Okay, driven. All right, what's another one?
Problem solver.
Okay. All right, what's something that you're passionate about?
Connecting people.
Okay. What else?
Helping people grow.
What's something that you're really good at or an expert at?
Talking.
All right, anything else?
Systemization.
Okay, systemization. And then some adjectives.
You put sarcastic.
I'm going to change that to witty.
Okay, that'll work. Thank you for the reframe.
Other adjectives.
I put accepting.
Accepting. All right. So I'm going to create some titles, just putting a few of these words together. So I am a driven problem solver who is an expert at connecting people. I am a problem-solving systematizer.
Like it.
I am a guru and I have a gift of gab. I'm a people grower and connector. I'm a witty communicator. I want to just use an example that I provided for you. So one of the things that I said is that I'm an influence and presence strategist. So think about this. When I talk about an action word that describes you, it could be, I'm a driver, I'm an activator, I'm a strategist, I'm an expert at this, I'm a facilitator, I'm a coach. So think about that in terms of title, and you want to try to integrate some of your words and mix them together. So I'm going to give you just a minute or so to come up with at least one title, and I want you to do this quickly. Don't give it a lot of thought. Don't overthink it. Just put the words together and create a new title for you. And I'm going to give you 1 minute. Ready, go. Okay, stop. Who wants to go first?
I got one I thought was kind of good. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say go ahead.
Oh, okay. I came up with facilitator of new creations.
Okay. Very good. What
I
kind
heard-
of creations?
What kind of creations? New creations. It would be from like giving your sentimental things more, a new life.
Okay.
So I would say facilitator of new creations from, let me think.
Okay. I'll give you a second. All right, Katrina, go ahead.
I was an ambitious, quirky people growth strategist.
Say that again. Say that again.
I said I was an ambitious, quirky people growth strategist.
Oh, yeah. People growth strategist. And the adjectives that you added on there. So that's definitely, that's going to catch someone's attention. So Jen, what did you come up with?
Well, I got driven event planner. That's where I drew a blank.
Okay. So driven event planner. Well, and that's a title. I mean, it could be, so you also mentioned about connecting people.
Okay.
So I think that's here's the thing about when you're talking about your title, you don't want to get so far away from what you do that they're like, who is this person and what planet are they from? You want to make sure that you are also, you're also backing up what you do with a job title. So, I mean, not a job title, but a title. So when you think about how I started this out and I said, I'm an executive business coach and also a presence and influence strategist. So you see how I combine the two so that they know that, hey, I really have a job, I really have a role, but there's more to me than that. So Jen, if I think about you, the connecting people has to be in there. So I'm a people connector. I'm a people connector through event planning. But you do more than event planning. You have a health and wellness focus. So I'm a health and wellness event planner who is also a people connector. Do you see how that's more palatable?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Diane, we see you on the call. We're talking about your 60-second introduction, and so right now what we're doing is we're creating new job titles for ourselves, and we're doing it in a very creative way.
Okay, yes, I'm listening.
Okay, very good. And if you feel like you can jump in, then go ahead as we do this.
Okay.
Okay, so Melody, I want to come back to you. Did you give some thought to?
No, I've really not come up with a good word. Sorry. The other title I had come up with was innovator of innovations and solutions facilitator.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, and so eventually, here's the thing, they're going to ask you more about that, and that's exactly what we want them to do. We're basically creating an appetizer for our audience, and we don't want to give them everything all at once, otherwise there's nothing to come back for. There's nothing to keep their interest. So if you're saying, I'm an innovative, I'll just make this up, I'm an innovative creation or innovative solutions facilitator, and they might say, oh, well, tell me more about that. Well, I'm in the IT space, and I'm frequently creating, having to come up with very unique solutions to, around information technology. That requires me to also facilitate a lot of conversations around projects. So it gives you a chance to elaborate more on that. Then you want to have another one that you want to just throw out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next piece. So our next part of our equation is, what do you do? In our 3-part, or actually 4-part formula, we are answering the questions, who are you? Now this is, what do you do? Here's where we get into trouble. This is where we have a hard time describing what we do, especially as women, because we do so many things. We're so multifaceted, and we get stun-gunned with that question, and it paralyzes us. What do I do? What do I don't do? Is really what we want to say. But what we want to do is we want to distill this down to an appetizer size description. So basically, for this part of your introduction, you want to combine some action words plus results. So here's just a basic formula to follow on answering this question. I blank people how to. You could fill that blank with anything. I teach people how to finish projects on time. I lead people, or here's a different formula. It's another version of the formula. I, and then an action verb, then who or what, and then describe an outcome. So I help people in the health and wellness industry to promote their products through health and wellness fairs. So Jen, that would be one way to describe what you do.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I've recorded it, so you can go back and watch the replay.
Good.
But the most simplest one is I blank people how to. You know, do you teach people to do things? Do you coach people? Do you show people how to do things? Do you facilitate on how to, do you facilitate conversations for people who are experiencing conflict? Very simple, very easy to understand. So I want you to think about, you know, and remember, just focus on one of your jobs right now. So some of you you got your foot in both arenas. You got it in the workplace and you've got it from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So just pick one and take a crack at crafting what you would say here. I teach people, I facilitate, I connect people, I show people how to systematize what? So you have to add a little bit of meat there to it. So I'll give you another minute to do that. 60 seconds. Okay, about 5 more seconds. All right, let's see what you have. Katrina, start us off.
Okay, so I got entrepreneurs on how to legally grow their businesses.
Oh, yep. Awesome. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yay.
Yay!
Jennifer Baker, how about you?
Give me 1 more minute.
Okay. Melody?
I coach people how to reach the next level in their career.
Awesome. Perfect.
Oh, these guys are good.
I'll give you a few more seconds. Let me check in with Diane and see if Diane's come up with anything.
Sure. I would say I help children improve their communication via speech and language therapy.
Yay! Good. Perfect. All right, Jen, it's up to you. Bring us home.
Oh, I don't, okay. Well, I went, besides your beautiful one, which I'll have to go back and rewatch in a minute. I educate people on health and wellness initiatives through health fairs.
Yeah, perfect. Isn't it perfect that tonight there are like 1,000 sirens going down the street? I mean, just the entire time during this VIP clinic. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
But the sirens agree with you, Jen, so good job.
Thanks.
All right, so let's go on to the next section. Oh, by the way, here's another example. I teach people to manage their food intake so they can live healthy lives longer. Very simple, doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You don't have to over-intellectualize it. It can be very simple. One of the things, you know, when I'm talking to somebody specifically around executive leadership presence, for example, and they ask what I do, I tell them I teach business people how to show up with executive presence. That's it. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I get exactly what you do. And it causes them to ask more questions. So remember, we want to position our introduction for them to ask us more questions because we want them to be interested in us and we want to establish a relationship with them. All right, next, what value do you bring? So once you're getting down your introduction, you're going to find that what you do and the value you bring, sometimes they overlap, and that's absolutely fine. They're going to overlap in the description, but the fact is still you want to use this structure so that people can process it from a brain perspective, because this is the way that their brain takes in information. So here's the thing that you want to do when you're answering this question about what value you bring. You want to share what others get as a result. So this means, you know, maybe it's your clients, your team, just other people in general, the people you work with, whoever your target audience is, or whoever the people are that you work with, you want to acknowledge this. So for example, you might say the value that I bring is that people ultimately find their voice in business when I coach them on their executive leadership presence. Here's another one. The value that I bring is that women are more comfortable in their bodies and they become more confident in their overall life. So you're talking specifically about a result that you give people. This is especially important if you are a business owner or entrepreneur, because ultimately this is the deciding factor for a potential client or someone who's talking to you, if they're going to want to listen more, because they're looking, oh, can I have this result? So this is just the psychology of what they're processing, and they may not even be aware of it, but that's exactly what they're doing. They're assessing whether they're going to waste their time by talking to you, and they're going to determine if you really are, if there is a relationship to be had. So if I say, well, the result that I get, I help people to get flowers. I'm a florist and I help people to get flowers, and and somebody else they're not looking for a florist, they're looking for a finance coach or whatever. They may be interested in you, but they're really looking to see what value can you add in my life. So this requires a little bit more creativity and finagling. So if you think about your target audience, the person that you're talking to, or the people that you help, what is it that they do? What is the result that they get? What happens after they've worked with you or they've gotten to know you? So I'm going to give you 60 seconds to jot that down. Here we go. Okay, so Diane, would you be willing to go first this time?
I'm still thinking about this one.
Okay.
I have about 3 sentences kind of combined here. I can take a stab at it, but if someone else is ready to go, they're welcome to.
Oh, go ahead. That we're in a safe environment. You can throw it out there. It doesn't matter how it sounds. We can shape it up afterwards.
Sure. Okay. All right. So I would say the value I bring is I target early intervention services in order to decrease communication disorders and lengthy treatment. I don't know. I'm kind of still trying to figure out how to say those last 2 parts. It's really just they would need less therapy and that would be less cost. And then also for kids, you look at the social and academic impact of communication disorders. So that's kind of a lot to put in 1 sentence, but that's the gist of where my mind is at right now. So just trying to consolidate that information down.
Well, and so tell me the first couple of lines that you said first.
The value that I bring is I target early identification of communication disorders. So that part is figured out, but quickly explaining why that's important is kind of difficult to put just in 1 sentence.
Yeah, and so I would distill it down by some of that information is information that you can share, when they ask you a question, but it's, the value that I bring is that the children that I work with walk away from speech therapy with more clear and concise communication, less of a cost because I accelerate the process, and they walk away with a strong sense of confidence in the way that they speak going forward.
Okay, no, that's good. That's 3 big points right there. I like how that's said.
And see how you got to take all the technical stuff out of it, because your craft, but most people don't know your craft. So it's almost like you've got to pretend like you're sharing this with a 6th grader.
Okay. No, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. All right. Katrina, you want to try it?
Sure. So I put that the value I bring is for help business owners or business owners are able to systemize processes that lead to increased lead generation, And then I had a second piece, but I'm like, I don't know if I should just stop there or should I just stop with that piece, or should I put the part about while also learning to protect their business and personal assets?
Okay.
So that's why I was trying to figure out how to impact both of those into one
Okay.
sentence.
You can do, so I'm going to help you with that. So here's the result. So the value that I bring is that ultimately my clients, because they've systematized their processes with me, they have better and more consistent leads. And they also, because of the process that we work through, they have more safety around their personal and business assets. So so you don't have to, you don't want to go backwards and go too much into the what you do, but it's really, the result is that, you know, after they've worked with you, they have more high quality, consistent leads that lead to more profitability because of the systemizing that you do with them. And, you know, they have a more safe and secure system for their personal and business assets.
Perfect.
Okay, Jen.
All right, I got two maybe.
Okay.
The value I bring is by managing your health and wellness fair for you for free. I feel like that's pretty direct and to the point, right?
Yeah.
And then instead of going that route, I did the value I can bring. The value I bring is, well, that's not a complete sentence. By helping you keep your employees informed, healthy, and happy, or engaged.
Employees. Okay. So I think part of that needs to go back into the what you do. So what you do description. So it might be, so what I do is that I help employers set up health and wellness fair at no cost to them. So it's absolutely free.
Okay.
That goes up under what I do. As a result of that, companies get tremendous exposure, but not only do companies get exposure, they also yield employees who are much more engaged, healthy, and happy. So does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. All right. Melody, let's have a go at it.
All right, I was trying to fine tune a little bit. Let's see. The value I bring is providing a plan where you can gain more confidence to ask for a raise or promotion, and a personal cheerleader in your corner encouraging and supporting you.
Okay. So the providing a plan, if you think about that, that kind of goes over into the what you do. And I'll just make this up. So I'm a career coach, and I help people work through a plan that will help them to be more, I can't remember what you said.
Gain more confidence.
Oh yeah. I
To
help
ask for a raise or promotion.
I work with people to get a plan so that they can be more confident in their path going forward in their career. And then, so the result of that is that the people that I work with do walk away with a higher level of confidence, and they ultimately get the jobs that they want, and they are inspired in their careers. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in a breakout room for just about 4 or 5 minutes with a partner. And I want you to run through an entire 60-second introduction. All right. So I'm going to set this up. And so in the meantime, you can be getting your heads on straight. I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. So 60-second introduction shouldn't last any longer than 60 seconds. And then that still gives you a couple minutes to chat and help each other. And then we'll come back, okay? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
whatnot. So
Yeah, I get that.
We're
goodness.
back.
Oh, hi.
Hi, everybody's coming back now. How did that conversation go?
Good.
Well,
Good. Did you hear any good introductions?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You just need to practice them a few. I need to practice mine about 100,000 more times.
Me too.
Here's one thing that I want to reassure you on, and that is that it really is, you want to get down the core things about you, because every time you do your introduction, it's not, when you first start doing this, it's not going to sound the same. You're basically going to, you're going to morph this introduction, and you're going to find the right fit for you. And you're also going to find that as you grow in your career and in your business, it's going to change as well. So, and you just roll with it and you adapt it. So I do want to give you a quick chance to publicly declare your 60-second introduction. So who would be willing to go first? Come on, Katrina, you can do it.
Sure, I'll go first.
Yay.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Katrina Simmons, and I am an ambitious and quirky legal growth strategist.
Woo!
I know I excelled. I guide entrepreneurs on how to legally establish and grow their businesses.
Yeah.
And the value that I bring is that business owners are able to have better and more consistent leads, leading to more profitability and safety net around their personal and business assets.
Yes. Woo! Good job. Good job. Good job, Katrina.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Diane, you want to take a crack at it?
Sure, I did change the second part a little bit, but
Okay.
all right. So I help children increase their communication via speech and language therapy services. And the value that I bring is targeting early identification within the pediatric population via providing telepractice online therapy services. So I kind of changed that last part because I absolutely did not mention it the first time around, and that is a very specific avenue of providing therapy. So it's a work in progress, I think.
Yeah. Well, and remember that, so when I listened to the value that you bring, you were really describing some more of the services that you have. So remember, think about what the kiddos walk away with. You know, maybe the ones that you work with, what is it that they do? You know, what is their result? So that the value that you bring is that, you know, you help children achieve those things. Whereas the what I do might be more about the, you know, the telehealth kind of thing.
Okay.
Also, you missed the job title, you know, your describer. So I do want, when I post this replay on the VIP page, I want you to go back and watch it and catch it, because you still need to tell what you do.
Oh yes, I tuned in a little bit late. I'm sorry, I was at the grocery store.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. All right. So Jen, you want to take a crack at it?
Yes. I'm changing it yet again. I need to listen to the replay again. Okay, so I am an enthusiastic people connector.
Yay.
I manage health and wellness fairs for employers at no charge to the employer. I connect vendors to employees on health and wellness issues. And the value I bring is I am assisting employers with having happy, healthy, and engaged employees.
Yay. All right. All right. Yay. All right, Melody.
Okay.
Uh-oh, you went on mute. Hold on, you unmute yourself.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was just trying to write it all together, and
You know who you are.
So, I know that part. Yeah. Hi, I'm Melody Donovan. I am an innovative solutions facilitator. I coach people how to reach the next level in their career. The value I bring is I develop a plan to gain more confidence, for you to gain more confidence to ask for a raise or a promotion.
Yes.
The results are a higher level position and and you become inspired in your career.
All right. Good job.
Very nice.
Very nice. All right, ladies. So that is the structure for your 60-second introduction. And I'm going to encourage you to keep working on these. These are a work in progress, but go deeper with that. And even use those 3 questions to reflect on. Take some time over the next week, break up those questions and dig deeper into what we did tonight. So how was this for you?
That was helpful.
It was good. Are you going to have a follow-up clinic for us to come back and like showcase our moderately finished product?
Well, I'll tell you what I will hold you accountable for. When you show up on my other clinics, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself with your 60-second introduction.
Oh, no.
Look what I've gotten us into. Oops.
Oh, goodness. All right, ladies. Well, I want to thank you for being on the VIP clinic tonight. So I'm Angie Nuttle. If you want to talk, if you want to dig deeper on this and you're not already a member of the VIP Center, I do recommend that you sign up for membership. We've got a very cool new membership that I will be announcing tomorrow. Nobody knows what it is, but there's a
Oh, come on. Just let us in.
super secret.
That's not fair. Let us in.
You got to join at 8:15 tomorrow. Call all your friends.
Got it.
But you can. The easiest way to access me is through VIP membership. So when you're a VIP member, you get. I mean, I'm here most of the time, and when you are in a membership, you get some kind of coaching, and this is one of those things where you can get more focused on you kinds of coaching. You can also do a consult or a strategy call, and if you ever want to schedule a consult call with me, you can do that consult call for free, and it's at angienuttle.com/schedule a call. So either of those ways, you can get in touch with me. So ladies, thank you so much for being on tonight, and really appreciate you. You're all rock stars. You know who you are. You know who you are. Just keep getting more acquainted with who you are, what you do, and what value you bring. And don't forget to do what?
Practice.
Ask a question. All right, ladies, have a great evening. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.